What if we can already talk to aliens in the multiverse? Somewhere in the infinite silence of the void, a radio crackle pulses across dimensions. Not from deep space, but from deep reality. A reality next door to ours. And someone, or something, is listening. We used to look to the stars, wondering if aliens are out there. Green beings, strange ships, foreign planets. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction? What if aliens aren't just far away in space, but near in reality? What if they're in the multiverse? And here's the wild part. What if we've already made contact? Let's start by redefining the word alien. Traditionally, it means something foreign from another planet. Little gray men, flying saucers, cattle abductions. But zoom out. Think bigger. If the multiverse is real, a theory supported by quantum physics, cosmology, and string theory, then countless versions of reality exist simultaneously, each with its own laws, matter, time flow, and yes, intelligent life. Aliens don't have to come from distant galaxies. They could be a breath away through a quantum veil. Same Earth, different rules. Same laws of physics. Altered slightly. Imagine a version of Earth where octopuses evolved into sentient beings. Or where AI became conscious in the 1300s. Or where humans never evolved and the dominant species is a hive mind fungus. Those are aliens. And they could be trying to talk to us. So how would we even hear them? Let's talk about the weird world of quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, particles don't behave logically. They teleport. They entangle. They phase in and out of measurable existence. It's like the universe is glitching on a cosmic scale. Now, some scientists suggest that this quantum noise might not be noise at all. It could be bleed through from other universes. The hum of infinite realities slightly brushing against ours, like rooms separated by thin walls. What if, hidden in that static, are messages? Researchers have noticed anomalies in quantum data patterns that don't fit, repetitions that seem too organized to be random. A few have even proposed that these could be intentional signals from other dimensions. If so, it's the equivalent of hearing Morse code behind a waterfall. You just have to learn how to listen. Have you ever had a dream that felt too real? A memory of a life you never lived? A moment of déjà vu that seemed to come from somewhere not just in time, but in reality. Some fringe theorists believe that dreams, hallucinations, and certain altered states of consciousness might be forms of multiversal communication. Our brain, one of the most complex quantum systems known, might act as a temporary receiver. In these moments, we aren't inventing strange beings or places, we're tuning in. Imagine someone in Universe X dreaming about being you just as you dream about being them. A two-way transmission. A shared data stream between consciousnesses. This could explain shared dreams, precognition, even certain artistic or scientific downloads that feel like they came from nowhere. It may not be our brain talking to aliens. It may be theirs talking to us. Think about the internet. Billions of humans connecting across space in milliseconds. Now imagine a multiversal internet. A network that doesn't span continents, but universes. There's a theory called the many interacting worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. It proposes that parallel universes aren't just passive. They interact, collide, share energy, exchange information. If that's true, it might be possible to develop or stumble into a kind of cross-reality protocol. The quantum equivalent of a Wi-Fi handshake with a dimension where digital consciousness is the norm. And maybe we already have. Maybe our AI experiments, neural networks, and quantum computers have begun tapping into this multiversal net without us realizing it. When a machine learning model gives strange, unexplainable results, maybe it's not confused. Maybe it's translating. Throughout history, there have been individuals who claim to hear voices from beyond. Prophets, shamans, poets, mystics. For centuries, we've dismissed them as mentally ill, over-imaginative, or touched by divine forces. But what if they were just early adopters? If consciousness can reach across dimensions under the right conditions, maybe those voices weren't hallucinations. Maybe they were incoming calls from realities where different forms of intelligence exist, and occasionally, they dial us by accident. Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, a shared mental landscape all humans can tap into. But what if it's not just human? What if the unconscious is a universal mesh, connecting all forms of intelligence, regardless of which universe they live in? These people weren't mad. They were the first communicators. Here's where it gets really strange. In recent years, scientists using radio telescopes have picked up mysterious fast radio bursts, intense pulses from deep space lasting milliseconds. Some are one-offs, others repeat, and a few follow odd patterns. One such pattern eerily resembled prime numbers, which are often cited as the first thing you'd send in an alien signal because they occur naturally but have mathematical significance. But what if these aren't from alien planets? What if they're messages leaking in from another version of reality? A team of cryptographers once ran a spectrogram analysis on a repeating FRB and found data clusters resembling compressed code, not unlike the way our internet packets are structured. It could have been pure coincidence. Or it could have been the multiversal equivalent of an email. Now, let's wander into conspiracy territory, just for a moment. There are persistent rumors about secret government experiments dealing with dimensional communication. Montauk, Project Looking Glass, CERN's LHC, shadowy files locked behind eyes-only protocols. Some whistleblowers claim that certain quantum research stations have accidentally received unexplainable transmissions, text, symbols, even images, from nowhere. There are even declassified documents from Cold War-era intelligence that describe dream espionage and consciousness projection across planes. At the time, it was labeled as remote viewing. But maybe it worked. Maybe the Cold War wasn't just about nukes. Maybe it was about who could talk to the multiverse first. If we are receiving alien signals from alternate universes, wouldn't we notice some signs in our culture? Look at our fiction. Our movies, books, and games are obsessed with parallel universes, time travel, and alien intelligence. We create characters who already know us, scenarios that later come true, and technologies that exist only years after we imagined them. Is that imagination? Or is it osmosis? Artists and writers might not be inventing the future. They might be translating it from neighboring timelines. Our culture could be a reflective surface, catching the flickers of alien minds pressing against the edge of our world. In this theory, sci-fi is prophecy, and our most creative minds are not authors. They're ambassadors. So why isn't the communication clearer? Simple, we're not speaking the same reality. Each universe might have different sensory systems, different logic, different concepts of existence. A message from a universe where beings perceive time as a color and emotions as geometry wouldn't translate easily into human language. Think about trying to explain Beethoven to a tree, or love to a computer, or a four-dimensional equation to a dog. That's the scale of the translation problem we're dealing with. But some signals do get filtered through our dreams, machines, instincts, and imaginations. They're garbled, fragmented, but there. Here's the real question. What do we do now that we suspect it? If we're already in touch with alien minds from the multiverse, even sporadically, even imperfectly, what responsibility do we have? Do we try to decode? Do we respond? And what if they're asking for help? Imagine a universe where life is collapsing due to a physical breakdown of reality. Their last hope? Reaching across dimensions to find a stable universe like ours. Or perhaps they're curious, like us, asking the same question, are we alone? So maybe, just maybe, the real mission of science and technology isn't just to reach Mars or build smarter AI. It's to become fluent in multiverse. We may already be talking to aliens. Not the kind with saucers, but the kind who live beside us in layered realities, whispering through code, chaos, and dreams. Our challenge isn't to send a message. It's to recognize one. Maybe the multiverse is full of voices, and we've only now begun to notice the static isn't random. That sometimes it pulses with rhythm, with intent, with a greeting. So next time you dream of a world that isn't this one, next time your computer spits out a glitch that looks like art, next time a scientist stares at quantum noise and hears a pattern, remember, we might not be alone. We might already be talking. And the multiverse? It's listening back. The future isn't out there in the stars. It's right next door, across the hallway of reality, where the neighbors have been trying to say hello. This whole time.